Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Vaughn Biggs, and let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Breaking news: Miami Beach Pride to allow out Republican Representative Fabian Basabi to ride in April parade. Out State Representative Fabian Basabi has been embroiled in an ongoing fight with Miami Beach Pride. You will recall that Basabi had a significant rejection from 2023 parade participants. He criticized Equality Florida as organizing protests against him from parade spectators. Last year, in 2024, Pride Board rejected Basabi's request again to be in the parade. He was running for re-election, and there was much community debate on not allowing him to be in the parade. Equality Florida's political director, Joe Saunders, ran against Basabi in one of the rare gay versus gay statewide races in the nation. Saunders lost the election in Miami Beach in November. Now Miami Beach Pride is again approaching. A series of private emails has been shared to Queer News Tonight executive producer Al Ferguson. On February 21st, Representative Basabi communicated with Miami Beach Pride Board Chair Bruce Horwich and said, quote, "I am formally requesting pre-approval of my application to participate in the 2025 Miami Beach Pride Parade. Your previous decisions to bar me from the event was not only unconstitutional, but clearly politically motivated. Despite this, I attended last year's parade as a spectator, engaging with thousands of attendees in open and productive dialogue. My presence proved that any perceived security concerns were entirely unfounded. The only source of disruption during the previous incident was your, quote, partner, end quote, organization, Equality Florida, which deliberately agitated the crowd with misinformation. This was further exploited by my political opponent, who campaigned using taxpayer and non-profit funds to further this false narrative," end quote. Basabi then suggested that substantial public money is spent on Miami Beach Pride and that any exclusions may affect the city's relationship with Pride. He said, quote, "As you are all aware, the city of Miami Beach is a major partner in hosting this event, contributing $250,000 more than it has allocated to any other private entity, while also covering all police-related expenses. Given this substantial public investment, I urge you not to place your organization or the city in a position of legal and ethical liability by continuing to exclude a duly elected representative from an event that claims to be inclusive. Your refusal to engage in an open platform for dialogue and reconciliation is unacceptable, particularly in light of my landslide re-election, which unequivocally demonstrates public support for my leadership and advocacy. I am the elected representative for the district and the very city in which this parade is held. Your decision to exclude me contradicts the principles of inclusivity that Miami Beach Pride purports to uphold," end quote. Miami Beach City Commissioner Alex Fernandez communicated his desires on Basabi participation in the parade in an email to Miami Beach Pride saying, quote, "To clarify a point in your email, the representative reached out to me last year regarding his participation in the parade last March. I appreciate the time you gave to speak with me regarding his participation in this year's Pride Parade. As we discussed, I agree and encourage that the representative should be allowed to participate," end quote. 3 days later, Horwich responded before Miami Beach Pride saying, quote, "Dear Fabian, thank you for your interest and participation in this year's Pride Parade. To answer your request, the board has decided in favor of your participation this year. We actually came to that decision midday today, and then I heard from Commissioner Alex Fernandez that you were seeking the city to somehow get involved in this situation. Commissioner Fernandez encouraged us to let you participate, but we had already decided that as well," end quote. Representative Basabi tells Queer News Tonight that a resolution was being considered about the issue from the City Commission. While a copy of the resolution was requested, we have not received it as of our reporting. Horwich also said to the state representative, quote, "Nothing unconstitutional about it and definitely not political. You were in the parade in 2023 and became a huge safety issue for yourself and for the parade watchers. You had to be surrounded by police unlike everyone has ever had in our parades in our past. Your assistant was instigating the crowd by videotaping people yelling at you. In fact, your assistant went up to the people and put a camera in their faces while giving them the finger. There were special police in riot gear as well as plainclothes officers there just to surround your car and keep you safe. There are plenty of videos and pictures that show this. As for politics, you were in the parade the year before. We have never not allowed someone in the parade based on political party, end quote. In full disclosure, Queer News Tonight, Al Parkinson's interviewed Representative Basabi extensively last year about this and many issues he supported in the previous legislation year. Queer News Tonight decided not to broadcast the more than 1 hour interview. Basabi has continued to challenge us to broadcast it. Basabi recorded the interview privately, and we have given permission to use that video however he seems fit. Miami Beach Pride Parade will be on Sunday, April 6th. Bruce Horowitz was the final word when he tells Representative Basabi, quote, "To register, please go to our website, www.miamibeachpride.com. There you can register like everyone else. Once you have completed the registration, we will place you in the parade," end quote. Queer News Tonight will continue to follow this breaking story. Wow, that's a lot, right? But anyway, all I can think of, he has, I remember this happening 2 years ago and last year, but I keep looking up going, as he talks about he supports the LGBT community, I'm looking to find out where that has happened. And that's all I will say to that.
Goose egg. He has done nothing. First of all, he ran as a Republican. He voted for Don't Say Gay, and as Alex is going to tell you, his numbers are ridiculous. It's a joke. It's nothing. That his entire chain of emails is a chain of exaggeration, is a chain of gotcha politics, and a chain of email that shows false equivalency. Tolerance or inclusivity does not mean we need to include the intolerant. He has demonstrated no commitments to our community. Yes, the fact that he is married, he is a gay man who's married to a woman. And somehow they're supposed to, we're supposed to roll out the red carpet and say, "Welcome, fellow gay." No, we're not doing that. You have to show you're a state representative who voted against your own community's rights. Why are we supposed to support you in any way?
Speaking of goose eggs, it's kind of too bad that eggs are so expensive because, the yolk's on him. And I was also wondering if his assistant is like Beverly Leslie's associate Benji.
Benji.
If they have that kind of relationship.
Oh, God, that would be horrific.
It was kind of interesting to research him a little bit for this because, he talked about his landslide. And for those to know, he got 51% of the vote. He got that with not only Joe Saunders on the ballot, but someone named Mo Saunders Scott was also on the ballot. And I hear that and I'm like, that's an old trick in politics, trying to get someone with a similar name. But the thing that I think the big takeaway of this is, one, Miami Beach's elected officials, the quality of those politicians has just deteriorated in the last few years. Not only is this guy just an absolute joke, for pity's sake, I understand filming people when they're doing awful things to you, but giving them the finger while you're doing it, I was like, okay, this is just a circus. But the fact that a commissioner supported him, and this is not I was just reading in the morning, the Miami Herald, the commissioners are accusing people that live at a hostel of crime without any evidence. They're going after college kids. I was like, what the heck has happened to Miami Beach is really what this situation is about.
Oh, this is, look, I know that in my past life as an Uber driver during the pandemic, I drove quite a few gay tourists to arrive in Fort Lauderdale or Miami, and they're looking forward to go to South Beach. And my advice was, cancel your reservation and come to Fort Lauderdale. Because Miami hasn't been gay in forever. Look at these elected representatives. If Miami Beach is still a gay mecca, the way that Wilton Manors is, we would not have that issue. Right. We would have voted, we would not have that issue. We would have voted that ass out a long time ago.
You're right. Miami Beach is now so straight that the gays are marrying women.
Well, my husband and I ride on one of the Miami Beach parade floats, and I do remember seeing Basabi loitering, or as he puts it, attending, quote, last year's parade as a spectator, end quote, when the floats were lining up on Ocean Drive. And from what I could see, most people in the crowd made serious efforts to avoid him at all costs. They knew he was trouble.
I think this year we should not avoid him. If he wants to be on the float, then we should protest him.
That's right.
Well, I have a little idea for people. Maybe people should register an Basabi or whatever his name is group. I think that would be wonderful. Like, go
And
right
it should
behind
be right
him.
behind him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and